Yo, what's up guys, it's Talon, and today I want to talk about some of the things you need to do to consistently carry regardless of your teammate's skill. So in this game, I have multiple Master players and a Diamond player, as well as one Grandmaster, and I am obviously Sovereign. So we have like a pretty big skill gap between myself and our teammates, and then I assume our opponents are around probably Grandmaster for the most part, because usually when you're like high level Sovereign, something like that, and then you get a bunch of Masters on your team, usually enemy are a bunch of Grandmasters, kind of balance it out, unless the enemy have a Sovereign, but I'm pretty sure they don't. I forgot to check after the game, but generally I just want to talk about things that you can do to consistently carry regardless of team skill. Honestly, my team didn't play that bad in this game or anything like that, but it's more of just a general topic I want to have anyway, focused around consistency, because that is really valuable for solo queue. So some like the things just in terms of the early game, in terms of lane phase, stuff like that, is really just recall timers. Like finding proper recall timers on your boots rather than over forcing is something that definitely will allow you to get a lot more of consistent early games. A lot of people, you know, they'll play and they'll fight to the death level 2, level 3, and whoever wins, you know, is pretty much like, it's like, okay, if you win the, you win the lane, then great, but if you lose the lane, then it's not going to be so good. And no matter how good you are probably going to lose a lot more lanes if you're just looking to fight every time regardless of matchup. So in this matchup, for example, I wasn't that concerned with fighting her early, but then it turned out that she was losing the trades really hard, and so I decided, okay, now I will trade hard. So rather than just trading hard every single lane and always just looking to win the lane, win the fight, everything like that, I'm really basing it kind of on the matchup and on the opponent's skill. So like when I realized like this opponent's probably not very good, I end up being okay with looking for a bit more aggressive plays there. I was trying to flash there and I accidentally hit my second ability. I would have had a one-shot angle on her, but it is what it is. We kind of just messed that up. But yeah, so basing kind of the lane phase more based around your opponent's skill rather than, or your opponent's skill and the matchup, rather than just looking for a fight every time is pretty important. Here, I decide to just hard push now because my teammates do kill the Lux. He gets chased into the top side and was really low. And then again, we're just taking this consistent recall where we're not overstaying and trying to get a plate out of our lead. We're not trying to do something dumb. We're just like, okay, I have my mana boots, I'm gonna recall. And you're gonna see pretty much every time I'm playing an AP champ in mid lane, I'm gonna recall mana boots. Almost every time I'm playing a bruiser or tank in top lane, I'll recall my armor or Mercury Shreds, right? So it's pretty much always these types of things I do. Here I ended up looking for a rotation just because we saw kind of specific angle where we might have been able to get something and I wouldn't really lose too much on the other side. So we end up, you know, forcing out the enemy flash and not really losing much. We expected obviously the Lux to try to zone us there, so we did juke that properly. It didn't really lose out on too much, and again helped out our teammates to make sure that the Vi wouldn't get anything done there. So here again, we're just pretty straightforward in terms of how we're approaching the lane phase. I'm mostly just waiting for my jungle to come or something now that I'm lower. I'm not going to over force or over trade because we do get outranged. This matchup is hard, despite the Lux not making it look hard at the start of the game. So again, really well played by my Amumu there, by the way. That was a solid engage and gave me a free ult and a free kill. But yeah, we're just kind of like not over forcing in the early game. We're playing more based on whatever the enemy give us. If they give us opportunities to roam, almost lived there, by the way, very sad that I died. But if they give us opportunities to roam like we did, you know, on that Vi, we'll take them, but I'm not going to overforce them. I'm fine with just taking my recalls, making my consistent plays, laning normally. And then again, some like games I'll go even and won't really get any value out of the early game apart from just going even. And other games I'll get ahead, but it's very rare I'll fall behind, and that's because of the consistent play style of recalling on the proper timers. Because like it's very hard for a mage to get a kill on you before level 5 most of the time. So if I'm recalling on these mana boots, it's very rare that I'm actually going to get like killed unless I really mess up lane phase. So I'm usually not going to fall far behind in gold, and I'm kind of going to be chilling regardless. So that's just kind of one of the really important things is like, yes, you could play to fight 24/7, but half the time it's not going to work out. Even here again, this Lux, she takes this roam angle when there's a full wave in mid lane. I decide to take the plates, and so, you know, people might feel, well, oh, Lux got a kill, so it was a good play. But the reality is, Lux's kill, that's not guaranteed to happen every time, and it only gives her 300 gold. I already denied her 200 gold by getting those, or by getting that minion wave under turret, so she's losing that wave. She's even losing this next wave at this point, and I got 3 turret plates. So I got 450 gold, plus 200 gold from the wave, plus denying her 200 gold. That's like 800 something gold value, and all she got was 300 gold. So overall, a lot more valuable for me. I missed my third ability, sadly. You know, oh well. But again, a lot more gold value that I got overall there, and I still got to create a roam opportunity bot lane, whereas she roamed on a big wave. She loses out on a lot. All she does now from my roam is deny me like 2 minions. So it's just such a big difference in terms of how much I'm denying her. And a lot of that is just due to the fact that I'm focused a lot more around this consistent playstyle rather than kind of having these, you know, a bunch of these roams and forces early game on fights that don't look good. So even though we're 5-5 in kills, we're 1 kill, the Lux has 1 kill, I'm going to be quite a bit ahead of her in terms of gold, which gives me a good opportunity to roam, or rather to win this game. I don't know why I said roam. But now at this point, I do look to roam topside. I'm not really trying to fight this fully. I'm just trying to zone the Vi off because I do see that Vi is low and I know I can kind of poke her off. And then my jungle can just do the dragon if he wants. And he ends up actually coming Herald instead, which was a good choice by him. And so here at this point, we're just zoning the Vi off of this. And then my jungler does come as well. I missed my ultimate because I suck at Wild Rift, but it's all right. You know, it is what it is. And so we end up getting that objective in a pretty straightforward way. Again, I don't know why I've been saying straightforward so much. It's like my word of the day or the word of the week. I don't know why I'm doing that. But either way, we're able to get that done, which is obviously really good for us. And we get the plate, or we get the turret from the Herald because of the fact that we got the plates earlier, which is again why that mid turret, you know, getting a couple plates from that is so valuable. Not only just the gold, but the opportunity for the first turret as well. I am yawning. I am up earlier than I normally am, so you guys get to listen to me yawn as I record this video. But yeah, now this Pyke, pretty random. I don't know. I think we end up killing him. Just kind of is being a little silly goose there. Tries to ult me, but you know, he did not succeed in that. And so we get a couple kills off that. And so in this case, I was willing to give up that mid wave, whereas before I wasn't. Also, that was really mean of Lux to do that. But I was willing to give up this mid wave, unlike the previous one, largely due to the fact that it was a fight around dragon and that we had an opportunity to roam after the dragon as well. Whereas I don't really want to be roaming for no reason when there's like no specific objective to get or no specific, you know, goal. So that's kind of the difference with these roams as well. I'm making these types of consistent plays that are going to work out nearly every time, where it's like me going to a dragon, me going to an objective, almost always valuable. Me going to a random fight when I have a full wave, I don't know if that's going to work out. Now, this is, again, something that I have to mention as well, and that is every once in a while you can roam when you do have a wave in mid lane, but that's only when you have a very high chance of a really, really positive play. So like here, for example, I am okay with giving up mid wave, but the reason for that is, one, I'd be protecting part of this top turret. 2, the enemy Darius is really low. And 3, I have an ultimate that's semi-global that I can just, you know, easily send here, and it takes, you know, it's not a very long ult to send, so it's very quick. So for those 3 reasons, I was okay with roaming on this specific timer before going back to my mid wave. Because I was coming out of base, it was a bit more convenient there. Nearly sniped that Lux, by the way. But it is, again, it's a rare thing. I'm not going to do this very often. I'm going to choose my moments very carefully of when I decide to kind of make that more risky play. And usually that more risky play is going to be a time where I think I can really do something like, you know, big, where I can get like a double kill. I can get a turret out of it. I can get an objective. I can get something more. I'm not just looking for one possible kill, where, again, a lot of times these other people roaming, they're just like getting a singular kill out of it, and that's that. And that's not nearly enough of a potential win to give up an entire wave. But again, a possible double kill, a possible turret, possible objective, these things are things that you're okay with giving it up for. So kind of have to understand that. You also have to understand how fast the enemy push turrets. Doing that into a Lux is a lot better than doing that into a Jace, because Jace pushes turrets much faster. So in that case, I was fine with it. And then here I used the fact that my teammates push mid wave to rotate topside. So oftentimes, if one of your teammates do cover your lane, you can kind of use that as an opportunity to find some type of rotation, because they're covering the mid wave, so I didn't need to be on that right away. So I had an opportunity to go topside right away. These types of things are also valuable to understand. So like a lot of the game just revolves around waves, as you can kind of see. And that is really one of the main things that you need to understand to carry your solo queue games. Is just most of your plays should be based around wherever the wave is. And then here we rotate after. And why do we rotate? Because we'd already got that top wave pushed. So now that the top wave was pushed, we have the opportunity to rotate. We find the easy double kill. and everything is again pretty easy from here. So now that I get mid wave, I'm going bottom lane. Why am I going bottom lane? Because there's a wave there, right? It's pretty obvious what I'm going to do, and you could kind of pause at any moment and probably predict correctly where I'm going to be on the map just based on where the waves are or where the objectives are. Those are really my main things. So even here again, I know there's going to be another wave because my wave was coming. So I get that entire wave and I'm already on my death cap here. So I'm already 3 items and we are only 9 minutes into the game, which is pretty absurdly fast pacing. I mean, I'm over 1k gold. I'm probably 1.1k gold a minute at this point. And yeah, now at this point, shout out to my bot lane for getting a good cover there, and then shout out to Lux for walking into my Amumu. That was nice of him. And so again, why do I go here and miss my ultimate? Well, mostly because I suck, but also because there's a bottom lane wave, and my teammate's covering mid, so I might as well cover bot. It's kind of always about covering, again, whatever waves you can. Try not to miss your ults as much as I do. You know, it's ideal, but it is what it is. We can't all be faker. Either way, though, again, another bot wave, and then after I get this bot wave, now I can rotate into mid with my team. Obviously, I was trying to catch out the Pyke there, but now that I've pushed this bot wave, I can rotate into mid with my team. I think in this case, I decided to get my stasis because I do have it. But yeah, after I recall for stasis, now we can kind of go through mid with our team. In this case, the Pyke, again, he shows on the bottom lane wave. I missed my ult yet again. And again, we're in a pretty good spot here just because, I mean, at this point, we're ahead quite a bit, so it's a lot easier. Once we are ahead, and we do end up giving up that mid lane turret. And so again, in this case, why is it fine to give up mid turret? Because we're fighting over an objective, we're getting prio on bot side, we're chasing the fight there. Because again, it's just about timing when you fight. Like, a lot of people, they'll be like, should I follow my team or not? Like, they'll ask me this question, should I follow my team into fights when they're taking fights that I think they maybe shouldn't take? And generally the answer to whether or not you should follow your team is largely based around why they're fighting. So if they're fighting like bot lane, for example, right now, if they're fighting bot lane and there's no objective there, the Baron's on the other side of the map, all that, no reason to really go chase and fight with your team. If they're going to die, they're going to die. Not much you can do about that. But if your teammates are fighting around the Baron side of the map, when there's 10 seconds left until Baron spawns, you're probably going to need to be there because that's an important objective that your team's fighting over. They have a reason to be fighting, and so you should probably participate. So usually you just need to kind of think, what is the reason for that fight? Is there something better I could be doing with my time? So like, again, my team on bottom lane there, I could be getting a mid wave. That's going to be a lot more valuable. So I'm going to be doing that. Whereas let's say I had nothing else to do with my time, then maybe I could go there. So just kind of understanding that as well. Like, the waves are your number 1 priority. Objectives are your number 1 priority when those are actually up. And that's pretty much how you're going to make most of your decisions when it comes to like what you want to go for. Here we land a nice 2 ultimates there. I must have been lagging because clearly I wouldn't land my ultimates normally. So, you know, shout out to lag for making me hit the ultimate. Do I hit a 3rd ultimate? I don't remember this one, honestly. Of course I hit it, because I never miss. Which is very contrary to what I said about 2 seconds ago, but don't worry about that. And now at this point, Darius is chasing me, but I don't think he's going to kill me. I don't really remember what happened here. But yeah, I'm assuming that I don't die to him, because that'd be pretty impressive if I did. Kind of insane healing from that Darius, though. I want to play Darius. I want to learn how to play Darius. I play a little bit of Darius, but I kind of want to play Darius whenever I do my top lane solo queue. I think I'll probably try to solo queue to Sovereign with top lane. I'll probably let you guys vote if I do it on ADC or top lane first. I'll also have you guys vote on if it's solo queue or not. I'm assuming you guys are going to vote for it to be solo queue, though, because I think that's what you guys normally like, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, Darius will be a fun champ to learn. He's a really cool one. So again, at this point, trying to land my ultimates. This time I actually land it and get a nice double kill. Then we flash out. We do end up stasising, which means I can't click my ultimate, which makes me sad, but it's all right. So we get a nice double kill there, and at this point, I mean, we're very fed. We're pretty much just pushing with our team with Baron in a very easy, straightforward manner, which is the word that I can't stop saying for whatever reason. But yeah, we get the mid lane turret here. And at this point, we can just rotate into the bottom lane side with our team, or Vi can go onto us, and we can just try to kill her. That works too. But yeah, at this point now we have bot turret and mid turret. Usually, the easiest way to kind of push with Baron is generally go through 2 lanes. I'm yawning again. I prefer, obviously, sometimes going through 3 lanes, but it's a little harder to coordinate in solo queue. So a lot of times, just focusing on 2 lanes makes it less likely that your teammates throw. So like, you hover mid and you have 1 person bot, or you hover bot and all the rest of your team's mid. You generally don't want to all push on 1 lane, because then the enemy will easily wave clear there. But yeah, then if you do get the 2 inhibs on bottom and mid, or top and mid, wherever you go, then you can go to the other lane that doesn't yet have the inhibs dead. So here, now that we've got bot mid, we're just pushing around top side, and that's really our priority, is this bottom lane, or this top lane inhib rather, because then once we get this, it's pretty much GG. It's already pretty much GG, obviously. But yeah, now we can kind of just overforce on this one side of the map and really just try to get as much as we can out of this. And yeah, I mean, at this point, my teammates are kind of chasing in mid lane. The Lux is pushing out bot lane, so all we really need to do is push this wave. Oh, right, I remember I inted here. I tried skipping past it to, you know, I didn't want to show you guys my int, but this was pretty stupid. I don't really know why I did that. Sometimes I'm just a little bit of a silly goose. And then, again, this Lux, I don't know, this Lux really didn't like me. He ults me again. I should have clicked my second ability, but I was, like, hovering my ultimate. And then, like, when I dragged it back, like, I didn't react fast enough to click my second ability and get the shield, so I died. That was not very good of me, for sure, but I mean, my team is strong enough at this point. That doesn't really matter. And so yeah, again, the main things I kind of want you guys to take away from this video. 1, I'm really tired because I woke up earlier than normal. I don't know why. I just want you guys to take that away from that, but you can take that away from this video if you want to. But then in terms of carrying teammates who are maybe lower rank, the main things you have to value are just the consistent plays. So early game, find the proper recall timers around your mana boots, around your armor boots, whatever boots your champion builds, or whatever item spikes you like to hit early on in the game. And then make sure you're not taking roams when you're losing out on a bunch. So don't take a roam for 1 possible kill when you could be getting, you know, a guarantee of 200 gold or something like that. And playing around turret plates, you know, take those roams after you push the wave rather than before. And then only really take like these more risky roams when you see potential for big gains. So when you see, you know, a potential double kill that you think is pretty likely, or you think, you know, a turret is very likely to be taken after that, or, you know, making these more risky plays around objectives, right? So don't follow your team to random objectives, or to random fights rather. Only follow them to fights when there's a purpose for the fight. If the purpose is getting a turret, if the purpose is getting an objective, or if you just see everyone's really low and it's like obvious, right? You know, like these are the times where you want to fight. So you don't have to follow your team to every fight, but if those types of things are present, you know, those types of opportunities are there, then you can rotate. And then at this point, again, kind of just see me, you know, going through top side with our second Baron and looking for a pretty easy end here. They have multiple crowns, so it's kind of hard for me to ult anyone, but I wouldn't hit my ult anyway, so does it really matter? Probably not. But yeah, now we're just looking to land the ult onto the Vi here. We do end up killing her and missing our second ultimate because I auto-aimed it. I need to stop auto-aiming this. I keep auto-aiming my second ult, like when I get the reset. Not that I get the reset very often, but you know, when I do. And so yeah, we ended up getting the dub there, carrying the team pretty well. Honestly, team didn't do bad at all though for the ranks too. So shout out to the team, honestly. But yeah, we ended up finally getting Vex to the enough score to get level 18 mid. Now I just need Volibear high enough to get level 18 jungle, and then we can move on to top lane or ADC or something like that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're interested in coaching from a rank 1 solo queue player like myself, DM me on Discord, Talon1169, or through the link in the description to my Discord server, and I'll see you guys in the next video.